Tensions between Washington and Tehran is surging to a new level. President Trump has softened language and narrative of military action, even as he keeps pressure on Iran. Tehran is firing back with a stark warning. Any attack will be treated as an all-out war with significant consequences for West Asia and beyond.
American warships are ready to strike. The Iranian army is on high alert, ready to respond. The fuse in West Asia is burning short. The streets of Tehran are full of ominous warnings to the Americans. While one says we don't want war with the US, another shows coffins in American flags with a dire warning. US carriers prowl the seas, F-35s locked and loaded. President Donald Trump says that Iran is talking to the US and hinted at a deal to avoid the use of military strikes.
Saudi Arabia's defense minister reportedly said that if the U.S. backs off a strike, that will only embolden Tehran. And what's your reaction to that, sir?
Well, some people think that, and some people don't. If you could make a negotiated deal that would be satisfactory with no nuclear weapons, they should do that. But I don't know that they will, but they are talking to us, seriously talking to us.
Trump added that US allies in West Asia are not being told of plans for possible strikes due to security reasons. He has threatened to intervene in Iran in the wake of a deadly crackdown on anti-government protests. But Tehran is not recalibrating its stance. Iran's Supreme Leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, warns that any US military strike would trigger a regional war, asserting that Tehran would deliver a firm blow to any attacker, while insisting that it does not seek to initiate conflict.
When you hear them talking about war, saying things like, we'll come with this plane or that plane and do this or that, it's nothing new. The Americans have threatened us repeatedly in the past, saying all options are on the table, which includes the option of war. They've always said these things. Similarly, this person constantly claims they've brought warships, but the Iranian nation shall not be intimidated by these things.
Senior Iranian officials have echoed that sentiment, saying that Iran will treat any attack, limited or otherwise, as a full-scale war and respond accordingly.
Trump can launch an attack and then immediately 2 hours later post a tweet and say that I finished the work. No, this will definitely lead to an all-out war. It will harm the interests of many countries. It will actually involve itself.
Tehran, meanwhile, has said that it is ready for nuclear talks if its missile and defense capabilities are not on the agenda. This clash of signals, Trump's attempts to temper language while keeping military options visible, and Iran's vow to respond fiercely to any aggression has driven confusion and concern across capitals. Bureau Report, WION, World is One.
Joining us on the broadcast is Giorgio Cafiero. He's a professor, Georgetown University, and CEO, Gulf State Analytics. Professor Cafiero, it's good to see you. Thank you very much for your time. There's an ongoing narrative right now that apart from the confusion that both America and Iran have created to the world, Iran still insists that sending carrier strike groups to the sea is a provocation.
Well, no doubt. There's obviously a tremendous amount of pressure that the Trump administration is, and also some other Western countries, are trying to put on Iran right now. I think the White House seeks to intimidate Iran and to have this intimidation lead to the Islamic Republic coming to the negotiating table and making huge concessions that meet the maximalist demands of the Trump administration. No doubt Iran obviously feels as if the U.S. is bullying it, and I think while Iran is open to diplomacy with the West, Iran wants to definitely send out a strong message that while it is willing to negotiate, it is not going to do so from a position of weakness. And I think this is where we're at right now.
Professor Cafiero, talking about bullying, Iran says that if you attack us, then an all-out war in West Asia will emerge. And that's according to Ali Khamenei. What do you think will happen if Donald Trump doesn't heed to these warnings and threats from Iran?
Well, obviously, in a direct confrontation between the U.S. and Iran, we shouldn't be naive. The United States has the most powerful military in the world. There's really no match between them in sort of a direct war between the two militaries. But to the point of Iran's supreme leader, Tehran does have other cards to play. While the country is in a weaker position compared to a year and a half ago, with the loss of and the weakening of certain parts of the axis of resistance, Tehran still does have surrogates, partners, and allies in the region it can work with. Iran has other ways of retaliating in asymmetrical manners. And so I think the message from the Iranian leadership is that if the United States is going to wage military strikes against Iran, the Islamic Republic is going to retaliate in ways that severely undermine the interests not only of the United States, but also other countries in the region that Iran perceives to be in alignment with U.S. aggression against Iran. That is how I interpret the comments. And I think many statesmen throughout the region take this rhetoric very seriously, and for good reason. We have seen tensions between the United States and Iran play out in other countries in the neighborhood over the years, such as Iraq, Qatar, so on and so forth. They don't want to get caught up in any potential conflict that may erupt between the United States and Iran. They take very seriously Iranian warnings about Iran retaliating by targeting military facilities on their soil that host U.S. forces or energy infrastructure, so on.
All right, Professor Cafiero, let's see what happens in the coming weeks or months. But thank you very much for your time and for talking to us today.
Thank you.